It's not always fun and games for first responders.
05 Central, you show me in pursuit.
But sometimes it is.
Oh my God, he's not wearing pants again.
Sometimes it's dangerous.
Flipping around, look out, look out, look out.
Sometimes it's not.
Antler Boulevard for a snake in a house.
And sometimes it's just plain stupid.
Chihuahua in his lap on a lawnmower. Could be heavily
This is the stupid side of first response.
Dispatch, do I really have to go to that?
This is Code 0.5.
I'm in 0.5.
What's going on, ladies and gents? I'm Rich with my partner and co-host Jason, and we'd like to welcome y'all to the first ever Code 0.5 Halloween special. So, you might have guessed it, today we're going to be talking about creepy shit, and things that we've had happen on calls, and
Hey, whoa. Creepy shit.
creepy shit.
You like how when I wake up in the mornings and it's kind of dark in the room and I see my wife and her hair's all everywhere and no make like scary shit like that, or like real scary shit?
That's pretty damn scary. That's pretty damn scary.
Has anybody got a couch I can sleep on tonight?
Yeah. Man, I might have to call Renix. See if his is available.
All right, man. Sorry, you were on a roll and I interrupted.
Oh, no. You're good. You're good. It's just, we figured we would do a themed episode. I don't think we've ever done a themed episode, have we?
Nope, not yet.
See?
Besides the Rennick shit.
No, that really wasn't a theme.
No. That was just life.
Yeah. Well, something like it. Anyway. So, man, I was trying to think, because I know we were getting ready to do this one, and I was trying to think of stuff that I've had happen, like on my calls, or, just stuff in passing or whatever that other officers have told me about working around here. And you got anything that just stands out?
Not that really jumps out, but it doesn't have to be cop related.
Doesn't have to be cop related?
No.
Oh, well, then
They can know the other side.
Oh, the other
Rich.
side. Yeah.
In case y'all didn't know, Rich used to do paranormal investigating
I
or
still,
paranormal research or whatever. You still do it?
I have time, which I haven't
And
in a
you
while.
sent me that video.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what y'all were on. Was it a ship or something?
Oh, yeah. It was a submarine.
And some object just like all of a sudden moved.
Yeah, it was a bench.
Yeah. I was like, yep, nope, I'm out.
Nah, man, that was wicked. That was freaking wicked.
So yeah, you go through the whole thing. We've got the cameras and the shit like the EMF. Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Electro something. Like you got all the shit.
Yeah, we got all the shit.
Yeah.
We spent a retarded amount of money on on shit to do that. And it started out just like, it was like one or two things. I think we had a digital camera and a K2 EMF meter. And then, yeah.
And then the digital camera went to what, infrared?
Yeah. And then
Was that full spectrum? Is that what they are? And
I went freaking ham one year and got it's a Kinect cam. It's like right after they came out.
is that where it like can detect where something is and it'll show you like a figure or something?
Yeah, it's basically the little sensor from a Xbox 360, and instead of building, your little cartoon character like it used to make your little guy, so all it does is breaks it down into the frame.
Oh, so it can detect like where the person is, and then it basically outlines them. So when you do the movements on the game, it knows what to do. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but it breaks it. It's its most basic deal. So it basically, the way it works underneath the little cartoon characters, it creates a stick figure. So that's how it knows where you're moving and what you're doing. So you take away the cartoon character part, and then you just have this stick figure, and you can be, running around and literally see freaking stick figures, and there's nobody else in the
nothing
room.
there.
And yeah.
I think you showed me something that was in a chair or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was freaking sweet. Which I wish I had a way to show some of the pics and stuff that I have from that, because that one was pretty wicked. That
You know
was the
what
whole
you
part.
could do? Whenever this post on Facebook in the comment section,
Oh yeah,
you could
post
probably put the pictures, and can you put video too?
Sure, we could.
Oh, we can put them on there somehow.
Because I've got that video from the Batfish of that bench moving.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty wicked. That one was sick.
See, I've set up stuff before in like, supposed haunted places, but I've never. I'm one of those that I'm like, no, there's a logical reason for all of this, and that's all I would ever find. But some of the shit you've showed me and told me about, it's like, okay, where's the logical reason that this is happening?
Yeah, see, and like when we're doing it, we go in there with that, try to find a logical reason first.
Yeah.
Because, like you were in construction, I was in construction, old houses and stuff. I mean, you can find drafts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes there's just no.
Oh, and I had one of those devices that can pick up whenever there's a draft. Like you hold the device next to where you think it could be, and a needle would come up and let you know if there was wind movement through there.
Really?
Yeah, I might still have it.
I didn't even know I didn't know they made something like that. How do you think I would?
There's a box, and then there's a tube that comes off of it, and then there's a real tiny little like filament or wire or something, and you just hold it in those areas, and when it detects wind movement, it'll.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sick. I have to figure out what the heck that thing's called. That thing would come in handy.
Yeah, I might still have that thing because I sold all my equipment.
Really?
Yeah, I had full spectrum, infrared. I had some audio recorders from Zoom. I had one of those 8 security cameras or whatever.
Yeah.
I had one of those.
Were they motion triggered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had I don't know what else I had, but I sold it to a group.
Did you?
Like, I had it for sale on there, and they came in and were talking to me about it and all the stuff they do. And then I finally was like, look, if you guys want this stuff, you can just have it.
Dang.
And they're like, really? And I was like, yeah, you'll put used to it.
Shoot. Where were you at when we were starting out? We started a Central Oklahoma Paranormal Society in like 2012. And that's what the basic stuff. And we worked our way, kind of started out doing stuff like, kind of word of mouth. We do like the cemetery stuff and all that. And then I think Junior's wife mentioned something to a friend of hers at work, and then we did their house, and then word just kind of spread. So we did residential stuff for a little bit, and then we ended up going into like businesses, and we've done like historic places, and it's crazy. We did the Batfish in Muskogee.
Yeah.
That thing was, dude, that was pretty wicked in there, but it was hot. It was hot. We killed all the power in that thing. But
oh, yeah, because the power can set off those EMF devices.
yeah. And so like,
especially in something that old.
yeah. And you're like in this freaking, and they're cramped. So that sucked. And then there's no air. So it's just like freaking heat is all it was. We were sweating our asses off that night, but we did end up with some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, some of that stuff is actually it's on Facebook. If you're going to go check it out, Central Oklahoma Paranormal Society. But
Shit.
we've had some
Cops.
yeah. For real.
I was sitting here thinking about it, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Had to go there. But man, we've had some crazy stuff happen around. There was a couple that actually stick out. They were really, I don't know if they're creepy as much as they're weird, but we had 2 older guys, Native American guys, and one of them, I mean, they've both since passed away, but one of them, everybody would say he was like, I don't want to offend any of our Native listeners. Sometimes people get offended if you say the names of the things because it gives it power and stuff like that, but they basically thought he was a shapeshifter. So just use that. And they said he would turn into an owl. And he was very owl-like too, in his build and his eyes. I mean, for real.
Could he damn near spin his head all the way around?
I don't know about that.
You know how them things.
He was, I mean, he was doing good later, to get around and stuff, but he really did kind of, in his facial look like an owl. And then the other guy, that I've got wrote down. They said he could turn into like a coyote, not necessarily like a wolf, like a smaller dog, but he too had very animalistic features, like he had, kind of a longer nose. But with this guy Leon, man, there's like two separate things, and that one I don't know what to make of it, because we had one of the officers. I left here and went to another department, and I had one of the officers come to my house one day, and he was like, "Hey, can I talk to you about something?" I was like, "What's up?" And so he's like, "Hey, what do you know about this guy Leon?" And I'm like, "Just an older cat, we used to check on him, make sure he's taking his meds and stuff, because he had diabetes, so sometimes he wouldn't take his stuff and he'd get real lethargic."
Yeah.
But I was like, "No, but why? What's up?" And he goes, "Man, out south of town, if you go out south and you go about a mile section down, it turns off and it goes out into the county. Well, out there's like kind of these fields, and they'll go through and bale everything up. So they get these hay bales and stuff out there. And one of the, what was he? He was a captain. The captain of the sheriff's office. He's like, "Hey, if y'all go out there and check that every now and then, because people get out there and party, kids will. So just kind of, you can go out there and check on it, and if anything comes up, just holler at us." It's like, all right. But anyway, he was out in that area, and he said he stopped to had to take a leak. And so he jumped out, and he's doing his thing. Well, I guess everything was lit up real good. And so he could see that there was an owl sitting on one of these rolled hay bales. So he said he took a couple pictures of it, thought it was cool, got back in the car, went on. He said it was like almost 2 days after it, he was at the store getting something to drink. And he said Leon walked up to him and said, "Why'd you take my picture?" And he's like, "I didn't take your picture." He's like, "You took my picture. Don't do that." And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
I think like that captures their soul or something.
Well, that was the thing, is there was nobody else out there. It was just him on the dirt road. The hay bales are out there, and he took a picture of an owl. And then like 2 days later, Leon walked up to him and asked him why he took his picture. And he's like, I have never taken a picture of you. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, "Don't do that." And then he walked off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I smell what you're stepping in.
Yeah. And so that's why he had come to the house, is he had just had that conversation with Leon. He's like, "Dude, what do you know about him?" I was like, "I don't know." And he told me that. And I was like, well, the undersheriff had told us, the undersheriff's son works for our department. He was telling me him and his dad were driving down the highway into town. And he said his dad was kind of, wasn't going super fast, but was kind of getting it. And he said that there was this freaking owl, and it flew low, and they clipped it. And he said his dad was like, "Oh, well, done hit Leon." And his son's like, "No, man, don't joke like that. That's not even funny, And he's like, "Oh, whatever." The next day, Leon had was wearing a boot on his foot from where he had messed his leg up. So, I mean, the coincidence on that is freaking crazy, man.
And this guy's not around anymore?
No, he passed away.
Okay.
But
because it's getting dark outside, and
yeah, no,
I don't want to.
No, that one I don't know much. And then the other guy, everybody called him Crow, and you'd see him walking, like you'd be leaving town, and then you'd see him, and then get into town, and wouldn't even be there for very long, and then boom, he's like walking into town. It's like either somebody picked him up right after you passed him, or he could like teleport. Like he was there. It was
that's some creepy shit. That
they were both like I said, older Native American guys, and I was actually
do you know what tribe they were from?
No.
I would love to talk with somebody about that.
See, I've got a guy that we might, because he said something about one of his, it was like an uncle or something. Anyway, the rest of the family didn't like him, wasn't cool with him or anything. And he had a door, he said, in his house, and he always kept that door locked. And he asked, what's going on with that room. And his family would tell him he's got little people in there. And he said that he always kept a radio playing. So, but if you would turn that radio down, he said you could hear them in there cussing at each other, stuff getting knocked over. And that's like, I don't know how many I've heard. I don't know, man. I think it's like 8 or 10 different stories of little people, especially in like the Shawnee area. There's like an area out there that's.
What's significant about little people?
They're like tricksters. They're not like leprechauns or anything, but they're.
Oh, okay.
But they're, I don't know. It's pretty.
Now, see, how am I supposed to say anything that even compares with that shit?
I mean, that's just like on the Native American side of things. But speaking of that, I had a lady in town call one time because she was finding pears that had like big old bites taken out of them.
Uh-huh.
And she was hearing things hit her house at night. And so she called, and when she called in, she told dispatch that she thought she had a Bigfoot throwing pears at her house.
Okay.
Because of the bites. Anyway, we get out there and there wasn't nobody around. But yeah, come to find out there was a pear tree just on the other side, and it was like the neighbor kids. So they were biting these pears and freaking throwing them at the house. And that lady was scared shitless though.
Straight to Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
I remember working nights before. You talk about a cemetery, and you get calls about people like walking around or laying down in the cemetery.
Yeah.
Or they'll see them running through there, and they ask they'll holler at you on the radio and dispatch once you go over there and check it out. And then the first thing you say, nope.
You wouldn't go?
No.
Why?
No. Go up in a cemetery where people are walking around. In the middle of the night. I'm talking about I'm working night shift.
Like middle of the night?
1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. What is it? What's the witching hour? Is it 3?
3.
Yeah. No, thanks.
Man.
I wouldn't. I mean, what are they going to take? I mean,
there ain't really much.
Especially, I would go up in there. I wouldn't get out of the car. But what was worse is like you would never see anything.
Nothing, nowhere around?
No, I never saw anybody in there. I mean, I wouldn't roll down my windows to see if I could hear them or anything.
Really?
Could you imagine even if there was like some tweaker up in there and I roll the windows down and they say something, it'd scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, I could see that.
So no.
Nah. I hadn't had a bunch of calls or anything out at our cemetery. I mean, in terms of like stuff that's happened on the job, it's actually like non-existent other than the Bigfoot call. It's the only thing I've had that's there, but.
Well, I can tell you the scariest building search I ever did was when I get an alarm call at the funeral home. Yeah, go out there at 1 o'clock in the morning and there's an alarm going off and then you find a door open.
Really?
Yeah. That's not fun.
Did you go clear it?
I had somebody with me, but I went in there.
Well, yeah, I guess at night, yeah, you don't want to have somebody else with you.
I mean, yeah, that shit ain't fun.
No. Well, what was in there?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, I was going to say what? Probably
I think this was a very quick look.
Yeah, that's probably whatever's in there. Whoever's in there can, they can get out with it. They can have it.
Yeah.
I ain't going in.
Yeah, and then they've got like, over here around town, the what is it? Ghost Bridge and Thrill Hill and,
There's like, oh man, I swear there's so many like crybaby bridges. Like almost every town has its own story of crybaby bridge. You can't like narrow it down to one singular bridge, but there's like almost every county, and there's 77 counties in Oklahoma, and they all have their own crybaby bridge.
Yeah, that's what this was. And it used to be one of those trestle bridges.
Yeah.
And somebody ran off of it and they had a kid with them. And if you go at night, you can hear. Yeah. And I remember when I was in high school, we would take kids down there and tell them, dare them or whatever. And every now and then you get somebody that was real courageous and that they would walk down the bridge and then come back.
Yeah.
And what they didn't know is that you left your buddy on the other side of the bridge. So when they walk down there, they get the shit scared out of them.
Shit. We had the one, we did one that's not out. It's not super far from here. We went and did it. And that thing, man, we swept it. So we not swept the bridge like literally, but we like went around with EMF detectors and stuff like under it and over it. Nothing. Everything was dead for the most part.
Yeah.
And then like night came and I don't know what happened, but it was like somebody flipped a switch on that bridge because we had freaking EMF spikes. We had it like things were pegging out there.
And you're in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
So there are no power lines and
Nope,
stuff like that?
Nothing,
around?
nothing under it, nothing over it, nothing. And we checked it. Like I said, we checked it. We had like devices, our phones and everything were draining. It was crazy. No EVP or anything, but yeah. There's some crazy stuff.
EVP, voice phenomenon or something.
Yeah. Electronic voice phenomenon.
Yeah. I'm kind of remembering some of this stuff.
Oh yeah. We did a place down in Texas, the Old Park Hotel. That place is wicked. Like you can reserve like the weekend or whatever there if you want. And the owners are super cool. And they know like a lot of history of like that building and the surrounding buildings. And then like they now are part of the historical society and they take care of the jail that's across the street. So if you set up for the weekend over here, you also get to go over to the jail. And like that's where they were hanging people. I mean, like right out in the courtyard back in the day, old school Texas. But we did the old park several times. And they've got like this, they got a Bonnie and Clyde room is what they call it. I guess because Bonnie and Clyde used to stay there. She like lived close to that town. And so she'd stay there quite kind of frequently. So they made like a theme room for her. But we were setting up cameras. And it was me and our cameraman at the time. So we were together the entire time because one of them's setting up a camera and then we're checking the angles. Then we're taping everything down. And then we move on to the next one. I was with him the entire time. And then we were getting ready to go live. So I went and changed shirts and he's still right there, gets his stuff up. And we start going live. And I'm standing there and I'm talking and we're kind of looking at the cameras and this is what we've got set up. And I'm watching his face and he just starts like grimacing real bad. So I'm like, you all right? What's going on, man? And he's like, man, my back hurts. I'm like, okay, what's up? He's like, dude, he's like, it feels like it's on freaking fire. And he's like trying to arch his back and move around. I was like, set the shit down. What's wrong? So he sets the camera down and he turns around and he's like, what is going on? And he like pulls the back of his shirt up. Dude, he's got freaking rake marks across the back. It's freaking, it was whelped and the skin wasn't torn. Nothing. It scared the shit out of him. He won't go back. He will not.
Well, how can you blame him?
Oh, it's wicked. But he always used to have shit happen to him. Like we'd be over here trying to make shit happen to us and he's just minding his own business, sitting in the corner, not doing nothing. And it would happen to him.
Like some people are more in touch with that or something.
Like that thing you were talking about the bench moving. Mm-hmm. That was him. Like we had been down in there all night and we had weird stuff happen. Like there's a TV that's kind of hanging in the corner and it was showing like different ways the submarine worked. And we had turned that off, but it was coming back on its own. And so we were like, well, that's freaking crazy. But we sat down in the galley and that's where we kept hearing footsteps the most. So we set him down there and I'll be damned.
By himself?
Yeah.
Assholes.
Yeah, he was the youngest, so we made him
the guinea pig or whatever.
Pretty much, but I mean, like he
was the Renix of the group.
Yes, definitely the Renix of the group, man. But he was sitting there and he had this deck of cards and he was like setting them out and says he doesn't know how to play solitaire and he was like, "Can somebody show me how to play? Does anybody want to play?" And he's doing that, and then that's where you couldn't hear his audio because we couldn't get out. Obviously, because of the thickness of the metal, but you can see him talking and he's setting these cards out. And then you can see he like sits straight up and he starts looking around and like the bench is right in front of him. And there's a glint from I guess it'd be the IR lights kind of bouncing off of it. So you can see it. And that freaking, it was a stainless steel. It was 3 foot long and probably 30 inches tall. Fucking heavy. And it moved like straight back. And you can see he like starts looking and he gets up and he leans over and turns his flashlight on and he sees that bench has moved. Dude, he was out. He was done.
Well, hell, I don't blame him.
He didn't want nothing to do with that either.
I'd have been gone too.
Yeah.
See, you've got like some legit, like scary crap. Like, I mean, there's a guy we used to work with, and he's no longer with us anymore. But where we worked at, they used to house guys in the jail there. And this old boy, I don't know how he'd done it, but he hung himself in the jail.
Mhm.
And at night, when it's dark and quiet, and anytime somebody'd hear anything, they'd always say, "Oh, that's old Henry," or whatever his name was. So that's what they always say, was that it was that. Well, this guy, he was young, he was new, he was 21, 22 years old, 130 pounds soaking wet, maybe. Mm-hmm. And he would not go into the police department to do reports unless somebody else was with him. And if he was working by himself, he just wasn't going.
Really?
Yeah, and he was that afraid of it. And I'd never been in there by myself, but I never noticed or paid that close attention to anything. But, we'd have nights where he would come in there, and his partner that worked with him, they were, I guess, buddies, and he come walking in one day, and it's all on camera and everything. And out of one of the rooms, he's walking in the entrance down this hallway, and it's just a long hallway, and there's nothing there. And I can't remember if he threw a firecracker or if he jumped out of the room. And he screamed, called him every name in the book. And from that day forward, if the sun was down, he was not in that building.
Really?
Yeah, he wouldn't go. He was that scared of I can't remember what his name was, but he thought that place was haunted. And
your guys' courthouse is.
We'll have more coming up on Code 0.5.
If you're looking for a political podcast that goes beyond the headlines, check out the Beltway Briefing. I'm Howard Schweitzer, CEO of Cozen O'Connor Public Strategies. Every week on the Beltway Briefing, our team of former Republican and Democratic presidential appointees, Capitol Hill veterans, and political advocates shares behind-the-scenes perspective that cuts through the noise. If you want the inside scoop, subscribe now to the Beltway Briefing here or wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, yeah, one of the guys has a picture of something in there.
He got his video stuff going on it's down there where the deputy's room is, where y'all do your reports, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's down in there.
Yeah, it's in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the picture of it. Mm-hmm. I think he's even put it on Facebook before.
Yeah.
And I mean, it looks like something standing there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty solid.
But it's like, man, it's hard to tell because there's like glass doors there, and I don't know where the sun's at that time of day, and with that old camera system, because I'm trying everything I can to figure out why that actually happened. But it looks like somebody is standing there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's freaking creepy.
Freaking, speaking of buildings, that my major won't go into ours after dark. He's our night shift now because Renix is now evenings. So the major's changed over into what would be Renix shift. He will not go in there to do reports. And like you said, unless he absolutely positively has to, because there was a Dora the Explorer doll and it would randomly laugh. It never did it during the day. Never, ever did it during the day. And he was in there and he kept telling me that this was happening. And I'm like, okay, dude, whatever, batteries are going dead. But then I got to thinking, I was like, well, why the hell is it not happening during the day? And then he sent me a video of he was at his desk doing some stuff and that doll's just going off back in the back. And he's like, nope, that's it. I'm out. Done.
And y'all never could figure it out?
No, it wouldn't. I think it ended up, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I think it ended up in the angel tree stuff.
Here's a haunted doll.
Yeah, have it. It's the doll that plays back.
That would be freaking creepy. I wonder why I wouldn't do it during the day.
He was saying, he's like, man, this thing won't stop going off. And of course I'm there during the day and I didn't hear anything ever, nothing. And it sat back there for forever. And then, like I said, he sent video one night. He was like, he was at his desk and it's back there going off. And I'm like, dude, there's got to be somebody in there with you that's like messing with it or causing it to go
He
off.
bring his wife or something. She's back there messing with it.
No, because he's like, it takes a lot to rattle him, and he was rattled. Like he's, you know what I mean? He's kind of salty.
I would have put like a camera on it and left it in there overnight or
Yeah,
something.
that'd have been the way to do it. But he won't do that. Oh, speaking of scary, I think I got something on here. Hang on. Okay. I have actual audio.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah, I'm listening.
That is actual audio from the first time Rennick's girlfriend saw him naked.
Can she still see?
Not very well. I don't think she could to begin with because she's with him.
That poor thing.
I know.
You know what? It kind of makes you wonder how much she's like him.
You mean like him? Like likes him or
No, like they're
similar?
the same kind of person.
Oh, they're not.
Oh, they're not?
No. No.
Oh, so you got stories then that you can tell me after we shut this stuff off.
Yeah. I know there's a specific phrase. If you say it, you will see like the evil Rennicks.
Oh,
It's like,
really?
yeah. I mean, instantly pisses him off. Instantly. I'll have to tell you. I'll have to tell you what it is.
Well, you got any more of your scary stuff over there?
I don't know if it's like super scary. I was trying to think of some other ones. We did the Stone Lion Inn in Guthrie. Yeah. And we were set to have the building. We were supposed to do it like Thursday, Friday, but it didn't work out. So they gave us Friday night, Saturday. And freaking that thing. It had just been the crew from Ghost Adventures had left. I think the day we got there. And so that was pretty slick. Of course, they left crap everywhere.
Oh,
Like
really?
you would think they would have done a better job cleaning up after themselves, but yeah. Anyway,
They're slobs.
I wouldn't say slobs. I mean, there's like gaffer's tape everywhere. Like it was just like all over the walls, and like they didn't take the trash out or nothing. I mean, that's like part of the agreement, but I guess they don't have to because they're not, they're them.
Yeah.
We're us. But so the bottom floor, I guess that place used to be a funeral home. And the lady, she found a table, like when you go into the main entry, there's like a table right there. And it's got, crap and flowers all over it. And like for certain events, she'll set it up as a bar and people can make drinks on it and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But it's an embalming table. And she didn't even know it. She didn't even realize it until somebody had like pointed it out to her later on. And it was like well after things had started happening in the house. But we had some crazy stuff happen with the lights downstairs in the basement part, which is where they used to do all the embalming. And then, you could hear people walking on the floor. If you're on the first floor, on the second floor, you could hear people walking around. And then on the second floor, you could hear people on the third floor. And the third floor is where everything's supposed to have like originated and had started from, how they figured out that this place was haunted.
Yeah.
And there was like this narrow little staircase you got to go up to get to the third floor. And we're up there, and that was probably the hardest one to explain, but the most memorable. Because when I had gone in, I'd brought some of the gear with me, and so I was setting stuff up, and I was waiting on the rest of the guys to get there. So I was walking through, and I was like, my name's Richard. We're not here to bother you or anything, but thank you, and we hope we get some interaction tonight. And when we were up on that third floor, we have EVP, we have audio of this. It's a female voice saying like Richard. So it was calling me Richard, and I was like, do it again, and it would do it. And then my partner, I asked him, I was like, okay, what's his name? Norman. And so it was like male voice, female voice, male voice, female. It was freaking crazy. I mean, You're talking syllables here. It was cool. It was wicked. I don't know. I can't think of anything really right off.
Well, is that a good way to get out of here
Yeah.
with
I
our
suppose
first
so.
Halloween episode?
And you know what'll happen is as soon as we're done, I'll turn around and I'll remember and be like, I should have told him that one.
You got a year.
Yeah. I'll write them down.
All right, we're going to get off here, guys. Appreciate everybody coming out or listening or whatever we're going to say. Anyway, appreciate you all listening.
Yep. Thanks.
You have been listening to Code 0.5, the lighter side of police work. If you have ideas or suggestions for our show, we'd love to hear from you. Visit our website at code05.co. That's code05.co. And please consider making a donation at our Patreon page, patreon.com/code05. Be sure to use the digits 05. Thanks for listening to Code 0.5.